At age 97, General Kyung-soon Chang, chairman of the Korean National Senate, is the leader of Korean patriots who took to the streets to save the Republic of Korea from falling into communist hands. General Chang served as Minister of Agriculture and Forestry from 1961 to 1963, pioneering Korea's world-famous reforestation effort. From 1963 through 1972, he was Vice Speaker of the Korean National Assembly. In 1970, General Chang single-handedly saved his country from mortal danger by thwarting the then U.S. National Security Advisor Henry Kissinger's covert operation to incrementally withdraw the U.S. troops from South Korea. General Chang is a distinguished war hero who fought alongside his American brothers in arms against Communist China and North Korea in the Korean War. He braved the most dangerous combat zones, believing that it was his destiny to die fighting for his country because God saved him from a meaningless death in China when he was pressed into military service by the Japanese Empire during the Asia-Pacific War, the theater of World War II that was fought in the Asia-Pacific region. General Chang saved his country from communism twice. First, on May 16, 1961, General Chang made a decisive contribution to the successful execution of General Jung-hee Park's bloodless coup, which saved his country from the collapse being engineered by South Korean communist sympathizers after President Syngman Rhee resigned in 1960. General Chang aroused to action General Park, who became disheartened after learning that his plan was leaked, mobilized key personnel to join the cause, and persuaded the chiefs of staffs of the Korean armed forces into supporting the coup. Upon taking power in the 1961 coup that was supported by a vast majority of the people, General Jung-hee Park, who became the president of South Korea in 1963, launched a series of ambitious and far-sighted economic development plans that lasted until his death in 1979 and that eventually transformed South Korea into one of the biggest success stories of the 20th century. As Minister of Agriculture and Forestry under General Park from 1961 to 1963, General Chang initiated the wildly successful reforestation effort that eventually earned Korea the distinction of being the only developing country in the world that has succeeded in reforestation since the Second World War, according to the 1982 report of FAO, UN Food and Agriculture Organization. The second chance for General Chang to save his country came in 1970, when he was the first person to detect a surreptitious and incremental withdrawal of the U.S. troops from South Korea. This plan was hatched by Henry Kissinger, who wanted to hand over South Korea to Communist China, thereby weakening American leadership in the world and eventually subjugating the world populace to tyranny. Accompanied only by his assistant, General Chang flew to America and crushed this sinister attempt by informing and persuading, one by one, the U.S. congressional leadership who had been blindsided by Kissinger. General Chang retired from politics right after the assassination of President Jung-hee Park in 1979, but he returned to the forefront of battles against communism in 2002, when he saw that his country was under attack from within by the communists headed by Dae-jung Kim and Moo Hyun-ro. General Chang is internationally recognized for his leadership in the fight for protecting freedom in South Korea. On June 28, 2011, General Chang, as president of the Korean National Movement for the Protection of Freedom, spoke at IWP, the Institute of World Politics, on the topic of the nuclear security of the Korean Peninsula and the expanding Chinese challenges to U.S. global roles. IWP is a graduate school of national security and international affairs in Washington, D.C., where U.S. Secretary of Defense James N. Mattis gave a speech on May 19, 2018. Since the fraudulent impeachment of President Geun-hye Park that began in 2016, General Chang has again risked his life to restore liberty and justice, being crippled by fake President Jae-in, who usurped power through unconstitutional impeachment and election fraud. General Chang declared Jae-in's fake presidency and vowed to end the crisis in Korea no matter what. He knows that the very existence of the Korean Republic is at stake. On June 13, 2018, Mr. Young-tae Kim, a 77-year-old chief of staff to General Chang, began a fast to awaken Korean conscience, oust fake President Jae-in, and reinstate President Geun-hye Park. As promised at the outset, Mr. Kim not only persevered until July 10, the 28th day of his fast, but also made thunderous speeches in a public rally held on the 22nd day. Mr. Kim firmly believes that God will intervene to save his beloved country from destruction. May God save the Republic of Korea, his precious present to the Korean people and, indeed, to the world.